Well, you've seen so many people on the internet doing this type of drill, and you must be thinking, what on earth are they doing? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over what a pronator is, why it's useful, how you can train it to get super strong, bulletproof elbows, a nice strong forearm, and ultimately change your tennis game, adapt and progress through your climbing, become a beast of a grappler, or maybe even become a beast of an arm wrestler. Whatever your passion, this video could be useful for you. It goes without saying, if any of you are in elbow pain, this one could be useful. The data is mixed, so don't take it as fact, but I think from what I've seen so far with my students, this is incredibly useful. Take a look. Level number 1 is for those of you that are experiencing pain or have experienced pain before. If you progressively overload well, this one will be a game changer. The pronator teres is a muscle that is often overlooked and undertrained in almost all sports and training endeavors. There is one sport, however, that puts it on a pedestal amongst almost everything else. Arm wrestling. I've been diving into arm wrestling for almost a year now, and I've trained my pronator no end. I've realized that it's incredibly useful. The pronator has 3 key functions. Number 1, obviously, it is pronating the hand, turning from palm up, boop, to palm down. Simple. Second, it's then used in elbow flexion. Not much, but some. Key point number 3, or the use case number 3, is then stabilization or lateral support across the elbow joint. The elbow is a simple hinge joint, so when we apply force laterally across the hinge, we cause issue. The tendons and ligaments that are supporting the elbow get put under duress, and there isn't that much supporting them. That's where the pronator has a huge benefit. Due to its spiral nature, how the muscle sits on the arm, attaching here, coming across the elbow joint and around, it really helps to support in lateral force from medial side, inside the body, to the lateral side, the outside of the body. Long story short, it's incredibly useful. If you're playing racket sports, if you're doing anything like golf, grappling, climbing, arm wrestling, of course, training on the gymnastic rings, if you're working on a one-arm chin-up, this muscle could be incredibly useful for you. In this video, you're going to learn how to train it and how to progress in a simple and effective fashion. Okay, option number 1, the use case here is for all of you that are not experienced in isolating and really trying to feel what it feels like to pump up the pronator and begin to put it under some duress. We're going to use a light resistance band, and the goal here is to work with a high volume, so 50 up to 100 reps, multiple sets. This means you can work very frequently, so multiple times per week, and you can really start to gain not only a sense of strength, but also a connection from your neurological system into the action in the muscle itself. To do this first task, we're going to do the following. A looped resistance band. I first of all supinate my hand, so I place palm to the sky. I loop it over the base of my thumb, and of course then I anchor it under my slipper or on the floor. What you're then going to do is try to squeeze the thumb pad. This for me is really important. I feel that when I squeeze my thumb pad and squeeze my thumb to my pinky, I get a bit of extra control and a bit of extra tension through the spiral line into my pronation. When I do that, I then cover my thumb, and I have an extremely neutral wrist position. I'm not trying to curl in. You'll notice here, if I keep a neutral wrist position, the band will begin to pull me over. So if I hold my arm and take my bicep out of the equation, if I roll and relax, the band will pull me over. If, however, I roll and I flex, relax, the band won't pull me over. And that's because of the rotational axis. I need to maintain the rotational axis from the point of the band all the way through to the origin of this axis. If I shift where the band is, I change the rotation point and I nullify the action on my pronation. So long story short, neutral wrist Squeeze the thumb, keep the band anchored, and then try to support the forearm with your other arm. From here, allow the band to pull you open, and then squeeze and roll into the band, going as far over towards this direction as possible. From here, I like to pause and then slowly release. I keep the squeeze in my thumb the whole time, and I work with a very simple metronome. 1 up, 1 pause, 1 down. Up, pause, down. Up, pause, down. And already you'll start to feel, hopefully, this area, this medial or insides of your elbow begin to pump up with blood. And eventually you'll start to see and feel the pronator. It's really important that you support the arm to take any compensation of elbow flexion away from the drill. So again, 2 key points here. Keep the wrist neutral, support the arm, and this should take away most of the beginner mistakes. If you're someone that can't stop flexing the wrist, what you can do instead is wrap the band around the base of the wrist. And this essentially means that the band is connected no longer to the hand, but rather to the end of the wrist here. And that means the rotational axis will always stay on your forearm, on your lower arm, and therefore no matter what you do with your hand, you won't be able to affect this point, and you're always going to get the same benefit on the pronator. So this is a really useful tip that I picked up later in my journey, because I was someone that was flexing the wrist early on. Of course, then you can make this harder by stepping on the band and creating more tension earlier on in the strength curve. You can also then use a thicker, stiffer band. Same thing applies. The only downside with a thicker band is, of course, they're thicker, so you have to be slightly aware if you're someone that has smaller joints. But same task. Boom, boom. Show you from the side. Boom, 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 boom. I'm really pulling over as far as I possibly can. I like to imagine I'm pushing the back of my hand, the back of my wrist, into the resistance of the band. I'm not just trying to turn into it. How do I say this? I'm not just trying to turn into it with my hand, but the whole wrist and therefore the whole forearm is being affected with this pronating movement. So this is level number 1 for all of you with an entry level point. Again, high frequency, high volume, low intensity, and gradually build that up over a long period of time. Moving on, I will then stick with the stiffer band. So once you've built up to a thicker band, you can now begin integrating isometric elbow flexion. So here's where you're actively holding 90 degrees of elbow flexion. We have the same exact setup. So again, you can place the band on the hand. If you're struggling with compensation, you can of course place it on the wrist, and this gives you a bit more support. But now I'm not supporting my forearm. I'm trying to actively hold this position as I supinate and then pronate into the band. And you'll start to feel beautiful pump, not only in the pronation, but also in the brachioradialis, this muscle that attaches to the elbow and the mid-forearm, and also the brachialis and biceps. Boom, boom. This is a superb drill. It takes up a lot of my arm training right now. It's incredibly specific to arm wrestling, and I do hundreds and hundreds of reps of this every single week. There are a couple of tricks that you can play with. So if you're someone that wants to explore the strength of your hand as well, you can do something interesting. So setting up as you were before, but this time you wrap around the top of the hand. So now the band is pulling the wrist into deviation, not only into supination. So it's pulling you into a very weak position of down and over. So therefore, you have to bring the wrist upwards into deviation, pop, and then also into pronation. These are 2 incredibly important skills, strengths in arm wrestling. So therefore, this drill is fantastic for any of you working on hand strength, the connection between the hand, the elbow, and of course the pronation strength through the thumb and the forearm. Anyone that's looking to gain a bigger hand, a stronger hand, any climbers, grapplers, this will be fantastic for you. You can see the arm beginning to blow up here. Awesome drill. This is level 2 for any of you that are looking to integrate this after level 1 into the bicep flexion, the elbow flexion. This one is absolutely phenomenal. We then, of course, have level number 3. And here's where we're actually using a bicep curl, a hammer curl, I should say. So a neutral grip curl with a band or a weight trying to pull you into supination. So rather than doing a simple hammer curl, what's happening now is the band or the weight is pulling you over toward a bicep curl, and the goal is for you to resist it. So we have an isometric pronation engagement with a dynamic elbow flexion work. It's slightly different to the prior two. The prior two were working a dynamic pronation and an isometric or static elbow angle. And this time we're flipping that relationship. So I'll show you first with the band. This one's easier. The reason why it's easier, as I'm sure you're aware, as I open my elbow, there's less pressure on the band. And as I come into my strongest point, my closed position, there's more tension on the band. So it's a great way to begin, but it's much easier because you won't load your weak joints, your weak points of the curve. To do this drill properly, all other aspects apply. So again, neutral wrist, engaging the thumb. What I'm going to do here, rather than turning over in the hand, I'm going to try to already start engaged in the pronation, and I should start to feel this. And I'm simply going to hammer curl up and hammer curl down. And you'll start to feel the higher you pull up into this position, the more the band's going to start to turn you over. So it's really important, again, to stay nice and neutral in the wrist. And again, you'll see here, really starting to blow up my forearm. This is an awesome drill to really engage in your forearm. You start to really see my brachioradialis firing heavily. Wow, feels so good all through there. You get a load of blood through the elbow. You get a super strong pronation. And ultimately, this is where you're going to have strong and healthy elbows moving forward. Of course, as promised, we then have the same drill with a weight. To do this, what I have a static line. So I have a judo strap here that I've knotted. So it's a loop, the same as any other resistance band. And I have a kettlebell so I can attach it to something. What I then do is let it hang. I set up in exactly the same way, placing the thumb through the strap into the base. Again, curling, actively squeezing the thumb to the pinky, setting everything together. I then like to use my second arm to lift up until I'm standing and I'm set. I then start at 90 degrees, again, keeping the isometric in the pronation, hammer curling down to as far as I possibly can go without any pain or awkward feelings. Hammer curl up, slowly down, hammer curl up. So this is a pronation engaged hammer curl. It's absolutely fantastic if you're trying to build strong arms. I'm getting pumped, this is amazing. Strong arms, a nice big forearm, and ultimately bulletproof elbows. This one is going to be absolutely fundamental. As always, guys, any questions, please feel free to comment down below. I wanted to give a more specific video today. I put this on my Instagram last week and everyone loved it. So I wanted to give you a deep dive to give you even more information. Share it with your loved ones, share it with your friends, and make sure you do it yourself. And ultimately, keep figuring things out.